Welcome viewers to Historical Journeys. The RMS Titanic is still capable of astonishment, even after 111 years on the ocean floor. In 2023, two companies came together to provide a brand new, never-before-seen look at the Titanic's wreckage. And it appears that even they were surprised by what they discovered. In addition to the fact that this historic examination brings into question numerous things we assumed we had some awareness of the 1912 debacle, yet it likewise permits us to get up near many individual belongings that the travelers had welcomed ready. What's more, one specific disclosure was called astounding, delightful, and amazing. Specialists made a stunning revelation among the Titanic destruction. But before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. It only takes a second, and you won't miss any of our future videos. Let's get started. The associations answerable for exposing these new realities are Magellan Restricted and Atlantic Creations. Magellan is an organization that spends significant time in remote ocean planning and is the main impetus behind the exploration, while Atlantic is making a narrative about the work and what's genuinely going on with it. In a public statement, Atlantic uncovered that Magellan has made a computerized twin of the boat that will probably totally rework all that we are familiar with misfortune. Additionally, it has been the subject of ongoing research for 111 years. Naturally, there was also a film with worldwide acclaim that rekindled interest in the tragedy. Titanic, Park Stevenson has undoubtedly spent even more time studying the wreck after visiting the Titanic no less than 5 times over the course of the past 18 years. In my years of studying the Titanic, I've seen enough to be skeptical of the narrative we've been told for a century. Stevenson noted that a well-known theory states that the Titanic appeared to hit the ship's side when it struck the iceberg that sank her. He stated, "This new study is so important because I'm seeing more and more evidence in recent years that the Titanic actually went down and went over an underwater iceberg shelf, which was the first scenario proposed in April 1912. Stevenson said he has stories to tell. It seems like Magellan wanted to tell the Titanic, but despite what you might think, studying the doomed ship isn't easy, even after all these years. After all, it's about a disaster that wasn't even discovered until 1985. Allard included some images of the area in a photo series published by National Geographic, but it's all about human interpretation, requires, and there are gaps in knowledge," Stevenson told NPR in May 2023. Magellan spent 5 years developing the technology needed to unlock the mysteries of the Titanic. Part of the problem was that the wreck is particularly difficult for people to study under normal circumstances. The group claimed to be working on the largest underwater scanning project ever undertaken. In order to observe sinking ships, the project involved repeatedly sending a remote-control submersible to Atlantic Ocean depths of 12,500 feet. Romeo and Juliet, a ship, spent 200 hours and 6 weeks examining the Titanic's wreckage from every angle. Eventually, Romeo and Juliet caught more than 700,000 pictures of her destruction and 4K video film of her submerged. This information is accepted to be multiple times bigger than any submerged 3D model endeavored before Richard Parkinson. Normally, Magellan let his NPR know that gathering this information is very difficult. Magellan's Gerhard Seifert was responsible for arranging the journey to Titanic. Furthermore, that's what another test is, similar to a flotsam and jetsam field. You need to plan each square inch, even the tedious parts. In addition to mapping the mud, you must also fill in the gaps between these intriguing objects. Additionally, the size of this debris field is staggering. A debris field measuring 3 to 5 miles across now separates the ship's bow and stern by approximately 800 feet. In the hurry to find previously unheard-of things to be familiar with a renowned boat, specialists can undoubtedly fail to remember that they are visiting a disaster area site. However, the Magellan had the opportunity to lay blossoms in memory of the 1,500 lives lost that evening in April 1912. Titanic from 1998 to 2012. For instance, deep-sea navigation occasionally operates approximately 200 disaster trips. They spent $59,000 on tourists. As of late, there has been discussion of Sea Liner after her staggering excursion into the remote ocean, yet the Titanic had insurance. Under the UNESCO Convention for the Protection of the Underwater Heritage, the wreck was given protection in 2012. Seifert told NPR, "The amount of information we discovered during the filming was amazing. It took analysts months to remake what occurred and show what occurred before the Titanic. A highly accurate 3D model of the accident was what we created. Look at NPR's report. Filmmakers were only able to show a small portion of an event at a time in the past. People can see the whole for the first time thanks to this model. Nobody has ever seen the Titanic quite like this. Titanic archaeologists are excited about color or digital capture. Stevenson and pilot Marshall promptly saw the artistic creation. We'd have all seen thousands of digital photographs and negative-based films. This is unlike anything else we've ever seen, Stevenson told NPR. That implies scientists can interface with the Titanic. However, it additionally makes ready for other wreck destinations. It will lead us to a brand new technology that I doubt will have anything to do with Titanic research. He stated, "We're basically coming to the end of the first generation of Titanic exploration, and we're getting ready to move on to the next generation. And I believe this tool is referring to the transition from this generation to the next. It permits you to see the disaster area such that you can never see from submerged," Stevenson told the BBC, "and what he will show you presently is the real condition of the destruction. It additionally shows the full degree of the disaster area site, which incorporates portions of the boat's figures and the revelation that blew the scientist's mind." A shoe that was found in the waste field was an interesting find. In May 2023, Titanic researcher Mandy Love Baudelaire told ITV that seeing things like shoes that once held a body is scary. You would think that everyone would discuss the Titanic's incredible experience. It was a jewelry found on the seafloor that caught the creative mind of scientists. Magellan President Richard Parkinson let ITV know that the disclosure was an astonishing, delightful, and amazing piece. The justification behind this is likely that the film Titanic, 1997, was likewise about a neckband on the sea depths. The neckband was designated Heart of the Sea and had a place with Kate Winslet's personality. It was the precious stone neckband that assumed a significant part in the plot. However, when you say that a jewelry was tracked down in the destruction of the boat Titanic, you promptly recollect the film. Notwithstanding, assuming that Magellan has his direction, the watery destiny of the neckband's supercharge will before long change. How would researchers know that the necklace contained a megalobin tooth? This is an obvious question. The day-to-day mail site announced that Magellan didn't answer demands for additional data. Nonetheless, the site reached shark specialists for their viewpoint. A scientist at Swansea College in Ridges might not have gotten out whatever Titanic allies needed to hear. Pimiento said basically something beyond a photograph is expected to make an assurance. She told the Daily Mail that this tooth appears to have a neck, but the dark area between the crown and root is the neck. There additionally has all the earmarks of being conflict among specialists, with respect to the size of the accessory's teeth. Pimiento told the Daily Mail about it, but Michael Benton of the University of Bristol in the United Kingdom insisted that it was a modern shark tooth and not a fossil. He claimed that megalodon teeth covered his hand. It's presumably difficult to say with conviction whether it's an incredible white shark or another cutting-edge shark. Also for the present, the jewelry has been added to the rundown of unanswered inquiries regarding the Titanic that this new review could help reply. Naturally, the location of the actual iceberg's impact on the ship is Stevenson's most pressing concern. Anthony Geffen, CEO of Atlantic Productions, hopes so. Incredible pilgrims were ready to Titanic. However, they were only able to speculate because they were using cameras with very low resolution. "We can now restore every rivet and Titanic detail," he told the BBC. "New work is being done constantly," he said, and Stevenson prefers the force of information in this model, which is additionally the main information cloud to associate all pictures and information. Focus is made by advanced photography. The most recent information concerns the Titanic's lifeboats, Geffen informed the New York Times, because there are activities going on that we are unable to observe. Geffen additionally said that Titanic fans will have the chance to see the sinking transport in computer-generated simulation, where everyone are viewpoints on the sinking system in augmented experience. "This permits me to see the break according to another point of view, in light of all that we have advanced up until this point. One more large benefit of this new model is that it will totally freeze the Titanic when it is filtered in the late spring of 2022. Because it is unpolluted, this enormous ship does not lie dormant on the seafloor. While awaiting exploration and discovery, truth be told, the state of the Titanic has disintegrated throughout the long term, so a few researchers accept that the boat will be totally obliterated by 2030. The issue is that microbes is obliterating the boat's metal. In 2019, Triton Submarines' Patrick Leedy told Business Insider that the ship will soon vanish. Over the long haul, Magellan's 3D model can save the Titanic for ages of scientists. The sinking of the Titanic, as stated by the Smithsonian Institution, provided the ideal environment for the development of iron-eating bacteria. Truth be told, the microscopic organisms that caused the boat's passing were named after the Halomonas and Tanuki species found on the boat, living on the rust that was developing all through the disaster area. The Smithsonian Foundation takes a more certain perspective on this cycle and proposes that microscopic organisms reuse supplements in the marine biological system. When Magellan's crew mapped the Titanic, they also observed the ship's erosion in some areas. According to Atlantic Productions, a portion of the ship sustained significant damage. This includes Captain Edward John Smith's room, where the captain's bathroom is lost in plain sight. When Stevenson first saw Marshall and Magellan 3D in May 2023, he posted about it on Facebook. The bathroom was damaged when the model was made. Proof of one more issue connected with the Titanic fiasco was likewise found when Public Geographic revealed in June 2023 that the destruction encompassing the disaster area was canvassed in human waste, for example, Lager jars and freight nets. Yet this will do is annihilate the boat. It didn't help that a portion of the submarines that visited the Titanic in the past were likewise engaged with the calamity. As per Public Geographic magazine in 2001, he was hitched to a couple on the bow of the boat, which once collided with the Titanic. Thanks for watching. If you want to stay updated with our latest videos, subscribing is the way to go. Just click that red button below and become a part of our channel family.